Yo, Eazy.
What's up, guys? My name is Evan Duval. This is Eazy Does It. Thank you for joining us.
When you left me without a warning, it didn't hurt so bad. Said you called me, but I've been wanted since I was a kid. Now I'm running from my problems, bounty on my head. Now I'm running from my problems, bounty on my head. I'm an outlaw, and you can't catch me now. Oh, I'm an outlaw, and you can't catch me now. At a standoff with my lover, who is quick draw, felt a bullet penetrate me deep in my heart, and I never thought I'd get shot down like this. And I never thought I'd get shot down like this. And did you learn from your paw? 'Cause I did. And did you learn from your paw? 'Cause like him, I'm an outlaw, and you can't catch me now. Oh, I'm an outlaw, and you can't catch me now. I'm an outlaw, you can't catch me now. Oh, I'm an outlaw, you can't catch me now. Oh, 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 oh. And I never thought I'd get shot down like this. And I never thought I'd get shot down like this. And did you learn from your paw? 'Cause I did. And did you learn from your paw? 'Cause like him, I'm an outlaw. Running, 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 running from all my problems. Yeah.
What y'all think? Good? Let's give it up one more time for Angel White. What's up, brother? How's it going, man?
It's going good.
Doing
it's
all
going
right?
good. Yeah.
How you feeling this evening?
Pretty great.
So this is a new experience for you?
It is 100%.
First
It's my
podcast, y'all.
first podcast ever.
We made it.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Typically I just like to, get into people's stories. I love that, you saw the same opportunity here, the storytelling session as you
Exactly.
put on the promo today. And I knew that it was going to be a perfect night to drop in with you. I've heard, a little buzz around town, around your name, and several people came to me and said, Angel, he needs to come play your venue. Like, he's one of the best performers I've seen. And
Shout out Justin.
Yeah, shout out Justin. But there's multiple people, including Zach.
I was gonna say Zach.
Yeah, and that's when I, when I get multiple signs pointing in the same direction, that's usually when I start perking up.
Yeah.
And we have that opportunity here, man. And it's been really incredible to just start to, hear different industries and different people's stories about how they, got started and what they do, as well as how they wound up here in Austin. And, there's been some debate like, is this a local podcast? And I'm like, yeah, it is. But there's so many people coming from so many different directions coming to contribute here. And Angel is one of those folks, and we're glad to have
thank
you,
you,
man.
Thank you.
So let's, if you want to just do a little introduction and kind of get into where this all began, man.
Where do I start? Well, I'm Angel, from Cleburne, Texas, a little small town outside Fort Worth, about like 45 minutes west, if any of you are familiar with that area. But yeah, I didn't start making music until probably my senior year of high school. And I was rapping. It was fun. Like, that was kind of the whole idea of it. It was just having fun with friends, making little songs, this and that. And then I went to, after I graduated high school, I went to play college ball at Southern Nazarene University, because football was like my whole thing.
Yeah.
But also I want to be a veterinarian, so I was going to school to be a veterinarian, to be a equine surgeon for horses. And that shit was hard.
Yeah.
I had to, like, I was a biochem major while playing football, and it was intense. So it was like I had to choose either, be a veterinarian or play ball. And I didn't like the football program, so I was like, well, let me just finish out this year, and then I ended up doing graphic design, and just like learning coding and all that kind of stuff, because that's what I wanted to do, which, has definitely benefited me, because I can make my own websites and that whole thing. So after that first year of college, I left. And I was like, well, I guess music is it, because I was still doing music at the time, like taking a train back home for the weekend just to record some songs. But after I left school, I started a band called Three Trees, and was living with the homies and just making music. And that's probably really when I was like, okay, cool, like, this is, one, it's really fun. And two, like, it's something that I really believe that I can do. And bands fizzle out. That one fizzled out. It was like 8 months. We played some shows, this and that, but people worried about other things, and homie had a kid, so it just didn't work. But I knew for myself that I was still, gonna do it. And that's kind of when Angel White was spawned, like right after that period.
What year was this?
2016.
Cool.
Yeah. So I didn't start playing guitar until 2016.
Really?
And that's when I started like diving into writing my own songs, and not that I wasn't before, but kind of.
It's a different approach.
Yeah, just a different approach, exactly. Cause a friend of mine, Spencer, he was like, "Yo, bro, stop rapping. Like, just start singing."
Yeah.
And at first I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know." But really, when I started the band, I was singing a whole lot more. Cause the band was like this, like Rage Against the Machine esque. You know, it was just heavily inspired by Rage.
Yeah.
Um, so you know, if any of you familiar with Rage, like you know what he does, you know
Yeah.
what they do.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, that's really where it spawned, and I guess what 5 years later,
Yeah, man.
I'm here.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I hear so many different, points of that story that really it seems like, you're just at this point where it's an accumulation of all these things that you dabbled in or, explored. And I kind of came up the same way where I wanted to have my feet wet in everything,
Yeah.
From horseback riding to sports to music to, everything I could get my hands on just to kind of start to draft up this idea of who I wanted to be or who didn't want to be for sure. But yeah, man, I think it's so cool to see people, express themselves that way and not, shy away from any one part of their life where they say like, yeah, I used to rap, and they just don't talk about that anymore or something. But just for it to keep influencing you to be who you are now, and now you come on the scene with this like country boy swag, and it's
Yeah.
awesome, man. It's you got
country
the
boy,
style for sure. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, you can't wear that off.
Nah.
We maybe post it up on 4th Street, but still
That's
in
okay.
our roots. Yeah.
I got horses in Fort Worth.
That's
so,
it, man. So, yeah, man, I think, I'd like to touch on tonight, just the specific journey of, what an artist's path is, what it's meant to you, going down that path and really committing yourself to it for 5 years. Like some people don't underestimate that feat of, how much passion you have to have and how much love for it you have to have, and to continue to grow and ask more of yourself and really develop your style. It's so important for artists to do that for a while, to really, be true to themselves and know how to, create a foundation of work ethic, really. Because people, they look at the stars or the people that are, at the top, and it's like, man, you don't know what it took to get there.
Yeah.
How many gigs they played where they're hauling their own gear in. And I
Plenty.
popped into South Congress Hotel the other night, see you for the first time, and it's just such a cool, like, low-key set. And I love to see artists in different environments like that, and it sounds like you've been in a wide variety of them, coming from Dallas, like getting your start in Deep Ellum, right?
Yeah.
And let's just take it back to those days, and kind of, I'm sure there were some tipping points, whether you're like gonna keep going down that road, or where was your mindset through it all?
So we'll go back to like after the band kind of like fizzled out.
Yeah.
But we'll go even before then, when I was like doing the whole rap thing.
Yeah.
Because it was also more than just wanting to rap. I just wanted to like be able to make people feel, make people happy, make people want to do what they want to do.
For sure.
I would ride my skateboard around with like a smiley face cardboard, spray painted. I was a little hippie, like, for the most part.
Yeah.
Really, like, and not even just the whole like smoke weed, like I'm a hippie, not that, like the real like lifestyle of a hippie, the positivity, the love, the openness. That's what I was like, shit, since I was just little
early on. Yeah.
My mom always being like, oh, he's such a free spirit, da 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 da. That's really what I am.
Yeah.
So that itself translates through everything that I do, whether it be rap, whether it be playing guitar, whether it be working with animals, whether it be I got bees, like working with bees, like that's all just like very just free spirited things. and again, I love animals, so I'm gonna do everything that I can to work with them.
Yeah.
But then, so yeah, band fizzles out. I kind of start my own thing, and that's where Deep Ellum comes in, because I was just busking a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't work. I was just busking, playing. I had just started playing guitar, so it was like a big learning space.
Like in downtown Dallas?
Mhm.
Or?
Yeah.
Nice.
And at the time, like 2016, Deep Ellum was like really cool. Very, what's the word? I don't know. It was an art. Yeah, like very progressive
kinda,
in the art
yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Now it's like pretty, I it's
Might
just,
as well come to Austin
yeah,
now.
it's just not that, it's not cool.
Yeah.
It's super crowded.
Yeah.
And not in a good way, just like crowded.
Yeah.
Just people. I guess it would kind of be like 6th Street of now. Not
Yeah.
that 6th Street is bad. I don't go to 6th Street. And nothing against anyone who goes. Nah, that's not true. I've gone before. Barbarella's is pretty tight.
Yeah, there's some good spots.
Yeah, there's good spots.
We need
But
we
crowded.
need to bring it back.
Yeah, but crowded. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you could in 2016 you can go to Deep Ellum, set up your stuff and play, and like people be really receptive.
Yeah.
Just to the fact that you're out there doing that.
Yeah.
Which helped me. But don't get me wrong, there's days that, you know, people don't even look at you, but that really wasn't the point of what I was doing. I was trying to just get better myself, and that's really where I kind of gained my voice.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of projection, a lot of like trying to get people to hear you and get their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Make them want to stay. Make
It's
them
tough
want to.
these days.
Yeah, make them want to be in this world that you're in. Which
For a
is
moment.
still the goal. Like, how do you get people to not only enjoy your world but like stay there?
Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, 2016, I'm busking, and then I get asked to go on tour with a friend of mine. His name's Mod Sun. 25 city tour in a month. You know, it was my
Damn.
first like real anything.
25 cities in a month?
Yeah.
Damn.
We had 2 off days. So it was like, you know, you do a show, and that night we're leaving to the next town. It was an amazing experience, and it was a rap tour. And then I was like the third act, you know, come out with my guitar, just me and my guitar. And it was pretty great. Like, everybody who would come up to me or whatever, just, oh, that was so refreshing, this and that. And also, like, his fan base is like super open, super hippie. He's a hippie. But, well, now he's more pop rock, but that's besides the point.
It's going that Machine Gun Kelly route.
Yeah, he's like best friends with Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
And like every day I was just like taking things in. Like, I didn't really have the chance to be like, this was this or this was that. I was just taking it in, just taking it all in. And then after that, I mean, he would always keep up with me, like, you know, what you got going, da-da-da-da-da. And then he asked me to go on his second tour that he had. But I ended up not going on that, just personal reasons. Didn't really make sense for me. And I was really just writing, just a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Trying to work on a record, which I was working on a record for like a few years, and then ended up trashing it, and then started on another one, which is the one that I have right now.
It's the artist curse. It's never good enough, right?
Never good enough. And I will.
Are you getting closer?
Oh, we're there.
Yeah.
We're there.
Hell yeah.
But I will say, like, that's my biggest. I don't want to say downfall, because it's not a downfall. But sometimes I can just get in the way of myself.
Yeah.
Of like, this could be better. This could be this, and you can just run in circles with that. That's anything. Like, whether you're working on music, whether you're just trying to figure out your whole life plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no plans. Like the universe will laugh at your plans.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. Like you make plans, they're not gonna go as planned.
You thought.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest thing, is like knowing that that's okay, and
Yeah.
knowing that it's gearing you, elsewhere, that will be just as progressive as your plan that you had.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of growing, man, is like, it's a good trait to be driven or be organized in a way that you can say, hey, I want to achieve this, or, I want to go after this specific goal. But I realized, I was the epitome of just put my head down, not listen to anybody. I'm gonna make this shit happen kind of attitude, and like it kicked my ass every time, and like it took a few tries before I just started listening up, and then I realized that so many of us just go through life with these blinders on, of like you get so hyper fixated on one specific goal going down one specific way that we forget that this world is abundant around us, and there's opportunity all around you. And it could be right in your face, just yelling your name, screaming at you, just to veer off path a little bit, a little bit. And, you got to be careful just to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of who's coming into your life. That I always try to be the most aware of relationships and people, because that for me has just pointed, its finger at, the right way of carrying myself or treating people or pursuing the right, life paths to where I still have the ability to, be aware of new things. And, that's a big point of growing, is recognizing that, not being too attached. Right?
Yeah. Detachment.
So, yeah. But still keep your drive, keep that focus, but do both.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta learn how to mesh it.
Yeah. Leave some room for spontaneity.
Exactly.
Man, I want to touch back a little bit back on, kind of your creative process. And it sounds like you're inspired by, just expressing yourself and making people feel. And I love when you said that, just give people a glimpse of what it's like in Angel's world, and I get that, man. Like it's so tough for people to truly stop. And, I was at your show the other night, and this cat was sitting next to me, and his name was Bernardo,
Mm-mm.
All right, but he knows you. And he leans over and he's like, hey, what's up, man? It's like, what's up? He's like, my name's Bernardo. Shout out, Bernardo. And but we were just talking, and he was like, how do you feel right now? Like, what is this show like making you feel? And I was just like, I love this dude. And I was just like, man, because it was my first impression. He just saw me sit down. I think he asked me if I'd seen you before, and I said no. And I was like, man, there's this theatrical approach, and it's poetry that's happening in front of you. Just every facet. You're hitting all the senses, and it was truly special to see people that were there for that reason. And Bernardo was like, dude, like I came down from Dallas. I've hardly missed a show. And
No. I do know Bernardo.
Okay, cool.
I do.
Yeah. But he was like, man, like I've hardly missed a show. And I thought that was really special, man.
Yeah.
Like you're bridging the gap between two cities here in Texas, and showing people that, there's a scene and it's happening here. Deep Ellum may not be what it used to be, but, I think the beautiful thing about being an artist, and especially the chance to go on that tour, is you just get so much perspective of what you like and what you don't like, about venues and about settings, and that's when you can really start to fine tune the way that you present your
Definitely.
Craft. Like presentation is everything to me. Obsess on it.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I can tell we are the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so let's just get more into that creative process. Like ideally, if you're in a flow of writing, if you're in a flow of creating, what does that look like for you? Is it, early morning with a cup of coffee or late night?
I mean, it's coffee every morning.
Yeah.
Honestly. But it's pretty. It's not like set. Like I'm not like, all right, I'm gonna write a song today, or I'm gonna do this today. It's really never like that. I'm pretty just like inspired.
Uh-oh.
So
sometimes late night.
Late night. Sometimes walking through alleys.
Yeah.
Like me and Austin, we went and play some pool, and then walking through some alleys. Like wrote like 2 songs just doing that. So.
Cool.
It's life. Like I try to make sure that I'm living.
Yeah.
And not so fixated on I gotta make it, I gotta make this, I gotta make that, because that's not. I don't think the things that last are made like that. Because it's another thing too is just like timelessness. I'm super focused on just making something timeless, and it being able to stand the test of time. And that was kind of going back to that kind of perfectionist view, is like it's not necessarily that I want it to just be perfect, because that's not an actual thing. I just want it to like
stand out,
hold its ground.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, because for something to be truly timeless or like really stand out, especially now in this day and age of just like an overwhelming amount of information and stimulation and just exposure to everything, like for something to truly stand out as authentic, like somebody has to really be paying attention. Like they got to be super aware of what's going on culturally and socially and economically, all of these things, to where people don't realize how much inspiration artists are pulling from that. Whether it's on a local level or global level. Like I meet a lot of artists now, thankfully to this platform and this room, man, where I'm getting to have these conversations, and I've just realized how many dudes, are thinking about their craft and the way they present it. And whether it's those Nether Hour, I've been messing around with them, and they're a blast in their shows. And like they've got their act like down pat. They seem all wild and out of control, but it's highly refined and meticulous. Like they know what they're doing. It's working. It's smart. And I see so many artists, like that's what I'm inspired by now, is like just seeing what people's approach is, and yeah, man, I'd love to kind of, just touch on that.
And then really, for instance, so the song I just put out, Friend or Lover,
that was the release in November.
Yeah.
A new
song and video.
Go listen to that shit on Spotify, y'all.
Yeah, it's
over and over and over. Number 1 hit in 2022.
So the song itself I wrote it in 2018.
Yeah.
Had it as a voice memo for a couple years. And then, we'll even go before then. I'm kind of giving the video, but there's a shot of me on a tow truck, like crucified on a tow truck. My buddy Leo and I thought about that shot in 2016. Yeah. It was like, this would just be super tight if we did that. We didn't know what it was gonna be for. Nothing.
Yeah.
It was like, this would just be a sick shot.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to 2020 of October, we ended up having the chance to shoot the video and do that shot. So it's just, and I can't. I'm only speaking for myself. Like, only I have like held on to the things that I've made that long. There's some people who can make stuff in a day or a couple weeks. It's not years, but that was just this like very timely progression that when we put it out, it was like, all right, this is here forever.
What was the thing about that song where you said, all right, now's the time? Like, sounds like you kind of had it in your back pocket, kind of protecting it. Like,
kind of protecting it and holding way too hard on it.
Yeah.
It was like, it's not the right time, or it is the right time. But then there's, spaces that I've been in where I was like, shit, like I need to drop something.
Yeah.
But this just kind of really, it just aligned. because the day that I dropped it, November 12th, is the day that my great grandmother was born. And there's a whole thing with that we can get into maybe here in a second. But that was kind of the significance. And it was also like, it may be old to me, you know, like I said, going back to 2018, like it may be old to me, but it's going to be new to everybody who hears it or who kind of taps into the world that I've created.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Amazing, man. Yeah, so big month, you know, like releasing a new single, and like, are you compiling for an album now? You know, is it kind of on the radar?
So it's there. The album's there.
Yeah.
Projected for the end of December.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say projected for the end of December.
Keep us in the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So let's get into kind of what was it like. Had you fucked with Austin at all before? When did you move to Austin first?
Well, I'm still in Dallas.
Yeah, so you're just kind of touching base, playing some shows around here.
I'm here like every other week.
Cool.
For shows and my lady.
Yeah.
That's kind of really why I'm here for the most part.
Awesome.
I would like to move here by like January. That would be sick.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, that's kind of the goal. But really just been here for shows and.
Good, man. What are you enjoying about the scene here?
The scene, it's open. Like, it really just seems like everybody's open arms.
Yeah.
Which is not in Dallas. And there's people who do stuff in Dallas, but it's really not
like a community.
It's not. Yeah. It's not as open and fresh as Austin is to me.
Yeah.
And I just felt like Dallas couldn't elevate me, really. 'Cause again, you know, I've been there for a minute.
Yeah.
And also like seeing the changes happen. That's for me when I start seeing like things change a lot around me. I'm like, all right, well, it's time for me to leave.
Yeah, it's time for a new horizon.
Yeah, exactly. It's time for me to get out of here.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't care to play a show there. I really don't. Nothing against Dallas. And it's like the next time I do play a show, you know, I want it to be where, you know, I'm having to go back there.
Yeah.
To play a show.
Sure.
You know, and it's Sold Out House of Blues or whatever. But I don't want to be there right now.
Yeah.
But that's okay. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's something I've noticed, you know, about the kind of the setting and scene here in Austin now. Like, it's been interesting to me to see how it's coming back after the pandemic. You know, like prior to that, I was in the military for like 6 years. And so I was just like in and out of Austin, half of which I was underage, you know. So like I wasn't really downtown much while I was in the military. And but growing up here, seeing the scene, knowing musicians, it always just seemed like this small town feel amongst musicians. And I'm not really seeing that come back right now. There's a lot more scrapping for gigs, and it's almost a different approach now. Is like the people that are winning now are businessmen. They're entrepreneurs that, you know, are facilitating their own career. And it's so interesting to me to see, you know, like you said, with the graphic design background and like all of those things that you're pulling from in order to make it happen here. I mean, it's cool in one hand, but then also in the other, I want to see a lot more support around artists, and I want to see more of a unified, you know, vision of kind of what this town could be, and in the music scene, and how we play gigs and how we treat artists. And, you know, I think there's still, you know, everything is so fresh as far as what's coming back after the pandemic that, you know, I think we've got an opportunity to really, you know, stir some shit up here. But I think it's been really interesting to me to hear how things shifted through the pandemic for, you know, an artist. Like, I've heard just so many different stories. Obviously, there's more solitude, there's more creative space, there's more, you know, you're taking a step out of, you know, the rat race, and, you know, taking a look at really what things were, you know, like, were you even aware that things were changing, you know, in Deep Ellum or in Dallas, or
Yeah.
was it like this slight pause where you're just like, oh, it's time for something new? You know, I'm interested to hear. Everybody's different.
Yeah, so I saw it changing
Yeah.
like couple years after I was playing down there. And it, you know, it's more so just like them throwing up these like boutique bullshit ass shops,
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't like culturally, I don't know, inviting, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it pushed a lot of people out,
Yeah.
which I get it, I understand, but to me it just doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, why are we getting like rid of these things when they're like the heart of it?
Yeah. It's history.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I kind of lost the point.
There's just no more depth, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I think there's.
they take the heart out of it.
Yeah.
They take the heart out
soul.
of it, and it hurts me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very like soulful person.
Yeah.
Like I'm pure soul. Like
Like,
that's
you're taking my inspiration, bro.
exactly.
I need this surrounding to resonate.
Yeah. Cause again, my environment is really
Yeah.
what is inspiring me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love open spaces. I mean, I'm from the country. I love open spaces. I love horses. I love being able to just like walk out and just open space. That's just what I like.
Naked.
Huh? Naked?
Yeah,
If we're
dude.
naked, we're naked.
Speaking the same language
Yeah.
now. God, I miss that. I
Like,
didn't wear clothes until I was 18. No, I'm just
Hey.
playing.
I kind of wish I was like that. I
Yeah.
had on shorts and boots, but
Yeah. No, I lived in the suburbs. My neighbors hated me. No, I'm just playing.
just like fuck it.
It's like, how is your ass still that white?
You got no clothes.
That's funny, man. Well, what's on the horizon, man? What are you looking forward to? You know, somebody asked me the other day what my long-term goals were,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, what are we talking, like 6 months, 12 months?
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause
my perspective of what long-term is now is tripping me out.
yeah,
I can't believe it's almost 2022.
it is.
Yeah.
Like next month.
Yeah. It's blowing my mind. It's still like 80 degrees. Boy was sweating today.
What is on the horizon? As far as what I want, long-term goal
Yeah.
is a farm.
Nice.
And I've said that for the last like 10 years. I mean, I grew up on a farm, so like that's what I want. That's really what I see is a sustainable life,
Yeah.
which is also another focus, is just like being sustainable.
Yeah.
And then that translated into music. Like, how do I be the most sustainable with music? Like this last year, I didn't work, you know, a job, quote unquote, because I was just had the opportunity to just live off music. I was doing a lot of production stuff and working with some good people.
Yeah.
And that allowed me to not have to work. So I was like, damn. So it is sustainable. You know, I learned like a lot of things on
Yeah.
how to be in this industry, because it's an industry, and you got to know how to navigate, or you will end up, I don't know,
Burn out or
fucking
pushed out.
40 years old trying to make it.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm trying to be. But that also, you know I'm a great person. I know that I have a lot to offer, whether that be personality, the things that I create. And I've been that way since I was a kid. Like, just people would gravitate.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way. So that's kind of always what it is. Is like, because people will meet me. It don't even matter, like, if they know I do music or not. They just like, you feel good. Like, you feel good. And that's important.
Yeah.
Like, I think the most important. Like, you know, not throw away, but let's push everything that I do aside. And it's like, you feel good, you're a good person, you got good intentions, you got good heart, that's my focus.
Yeah.
Um
It comes
and
back to
again,
that awareness.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Like,
got to be
super
aware of your own energy, and
energy.
if you're neglecting any part of yourself, then that frequency changes, right? Not to get too woo woo,
No,
but
that shit's real as
it
fuck.
does, man. It does, and it's like, for me, I can feel that when somebody's really happy with where they're at or not, or they're uneasy. It's like, it's, you can feel that in an interaction, but when somebody is sure of themselves, and hearing you say that, man, they're like, I'm a good person, I'm happy, like that, that translates. I felt that. I'm sure y'all did too, and you know, I'm proud of you sitting in this moment,
Thank
being
you.
able to say that. Not a lot of people can, where it feels sincere,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what's going to translate, through your music and through your art, and yeah, I think we're all happy to be here in this moment of time, and celebrate you tonight and celebrate each other.
'Cause people want to be around good people, like,
for sure.
why wouldn't you want to be around good people?
Yeah, and I
Like,
I think that's it, man. Like, that's why I, built this room and set it up this way, is like, there is a capacity in here. Like, artists are going to roll through. Maybe, maybe it's your favorite band or your favorite artist. You go to all their shows, or maybe you're seeing them for the first time. What's cool about this space is, like, people come in, they play, they do their stand-up comedy, they do whatever we're doing here. And then there's no stage, there's no green room.
Yeah.
Like, you just take a step off this carpet and you're mixing it up, man.
Yeah.
And you're like, where'd you go to high school? And you're like, God, I wish there's a green room. No, I'm just playing. But no, it's great. And I think that's the opportunity I saw here with this space, was just like, that's the Austin I know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where there are no boundaries. People, whether it's your first day in Austin or you've been here your whole life, or it doesn't matter. You both got your feet on the ground here in this city, and the ability to shake hands or fist bump or whatever it is you do. Just get to know each other, and get to know the artists that you see out. Like, I'm glad you learned how to project your voice, over loud bars and conversations. Yeah. Like, that makes you what you are today. But also, man, like, we just need to listen when we see somebody pouring their heart out, and taking the time to, play a show. Like, who knows? Maybe they work that 9 to 5 all fucking day too, and then they pack their car, and then they load it out, and then they put on a set, and nobody's listening. Like,
because I've been there.
Yeah,
I've played the empty shows.
Yeah,
I've played the 5 people shows, but I've also played the 500 people shows. Yeah. But also playing on the street is what, like, allowed me to not even look at that. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter. And maybe it was like 2019, maybe 2018, like late 2018. I was on mushrooms, and I do love psychedelics.
Sponsored by psilocybin.
I had a
sponsored by God.
I had this, I still have this. It's like this blue and gold, like tapestry type thing. Kind of looks like this carpet. But I was in my room, and I had it laid on the ground, and I was just playing, and I was like, this is what it is. Like, this is my sacred space that I let people see. And, like, it really changed my whole stage, everything. Because when you're on the street playing, you are trying to get people's attention. You're trying to draw them in. Yeah. But that was like, all right, no, let me, create my space and let people see into it. Yeah.
If you're putting out the right vibe and it's authentic, then it does translate.
It will be received, like 100%.
Yep.
You don't have to. You do have to try, definitely try.
Yeah.
But in that aspect, like, I didn't want to have to, like, try to just, like, grab these people with what I'm doing. I would much rather than be like, oh, I want to be here.
Yeah.
Again, I keep losing the point of what
It's
I'm
all right,
saying.
man. It happens.
I'm just on more so just like tangents, which is fine.
Yeah.
Um,
No, mushrooms are great.
I love mushrooms.
Yeah.
I love mushrooms. Sometimes they can be crazy, but
Yeah.
if they're crazy, then that's just
You crazy. You
It's,
kind of
yeah,
crazy.
it's fixing something in here.
And that's all right too.
That is.
Yeah, man. I think some of my favorite memories, traveling the world and stuff, were like, I remember this one time I was in Osaka, Japan, and I was just backpacking alone while I was on leave for a short stint, and I remember this like brass band, like trumpets, sax, just like busting it out like on the side of the street.
Yeah.
And we were drinking these chew highs, so we were feeling good. It's like our their seltzers.
Yeah.
But I was with like 3 or 4 other people. I think it was 2 Americans and 2 Brits or something like that. And we just started dancing, man. And like everybody in the street just stopped. And the band, like, they were kind of jamming, and then we started dancing, and then it just like blew up, and everybody just started running, and there was like probably 40 or 50 people just dancing in the street, man. And that felt so good, and man, I'll do that in front of a mariachi band or Angel White or whoever's playing on the street. Like, show them some love, man. Like, I'll get down to some mariachi.
I will every day.
I'm trying to get a mariachi band in here.
That'd be sick. That would be sick.
Help me with that.
I'd be
one.
here.
Let's go.
I'd be here for sure.
Well, let's open it up for a Q&A. I like to get this crowd mic out, and just feel free to open this conversation up if you have anything that you were thinking or that's on your mind that you want to ask Angel or I. Hit us up. Yep. This is your time, Austin. Just get in his head. As if you don't know him well enough.
I know him pretty well.
Hey, what do you like better, freestyling or writing down, like in the process of writing a song?
So, really, kind of the process is just freestyling thing. You kind of like will hit this stream. Because I write poetry a lot. Like, I've been writing a book for the last, 4 years.
Me too.
Right? So it's really just this stream. Like, I hit the stream, it's coming out, and then whether it be like, oh, let me voice memo this real quick before I forget, or, let me jot down this one line that I know when I look back at it, it'll spark that stream. That's really kind of what the process is. It's not, like I kind of stated before, I don't wake up and be like, oh, I'm going to write a song today. There's times where I will maybe sit down and be like, let me just make something, and whatever comes out, that's what it is. But it's really never just such this calculated thing of creation. 'Cause I don't even think that's how things are created. Well, don't get me wrong, no, that's not true. Things are created like that, but not for me. It's very just freestyle, just feeling. 'Cause that's, sometimes I'll write shit and I don't even know what it means, but I know how it felt when I was writing it. And then maybe 2 years later, I have an experience that is that. So I'm like, whoa, this is what that meant. So yeah, it's just a stream of consciousness that is just flowing, and then I capture it, or sometimes I don't, because I've had times where I'm just playing and I'll sing a whole song and it's gone with the wind, but that's just what it is.
Those voice memos those things are the life-saving.
Yeah. I have at least 3 albums of voice memos.
We're making one right now.
We're making one right now, exactly. But yeah, just a stream, very, very stream-like.
If you ever want to challenge your creative process, especially if you think pretentiously about it, about being so exact, go read Hunter S. Thompson's schedule for writing. That shit blows my mind every time. He wakes up 1 p.m., drinks all day. He does cocaine 10 p.m., smokes weed 11 p.m., like makes another drink at 12. It just like his drug schedule goes until 3 a.m. Sits down to write.
No, thank you. That's a lot.
Legend.
Can I use the bathroom really quick?
What's that?
Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah, man. Let's get anybody want to ask me a question?
What's your favorite book?
Oh. Favorite book.
That's not Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah. No. Favorite book of all time. I always quote Shamhala by Chogyam Trungpa. It's one of my favorites ever. My buddy Pat, he put me onto a book called The Fifth Sacred Thing. That's a beautiful book. I think it should be mandated right now to read it. It's a bold statement, but I think it should. Want me to tell you about it?
Yeah.
All right. Oh man. So it's like this utopian society, right? It's perfect, and it's in San Francisco.
I love San Francisco.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about. That's what my favorite book was while you were
Okay.
gone. We're stalling. But anyway, so there's these people in San Francisco. The government cuts off all their resources, water and food, and at the time, like, famine takes over. Tell me if I'm getting this wrong. Just wave if I'm getting it wrong. So famine takes over, and everybody's getting really sickly and like giving up. And these four women walk out into an intersection with pickaxes, and they start chipping away at the asphalt. And it's just kind of this symbolic thing of like regenerating the city, right? So they start busting up all the concrete and growing vegetables, and then they go out and they route water from local rivers. Anyway, it just turns into this utopia that the government has completely cut off. And what they realize is they start getting all these healing powers back because they're living off the land. And at the whole time, the army is like closing in to fight them, and they get an entire city to commit to a peaceful revolution. And that is where it got interesting, because it's tough to get an entire city of people to commit to being peaceful when they're scared. And it's fictional, obviously, but
It's real. It's
and I don't
very
like
real.
fiction, but I read that book and I was like, this is way too real and way too perfect for kind of the state of society and life right now.
Yeah.
So
I was living off the land.
yeah, it's a good
Fantasy.
escape, man. Like I always told myself I didn't like fiction, and then I realized that like I needed fiction. Like it can't be so like
Yeah, fantasy is important.
literal all the time. So
Fantasy is very important.
any other questions for Angel? Yeah, Taylor's got one. Taylor's always got good questions.
I got two actually. One was the first time, like they were like imprinted on you that you tapped into that flow of creative consciousness you were talking about.
Probably when I got off tour. It was like 20. What did I say? It was 2017. The tour was like March to April, and then I got back home, and I was super sad. One, because there was like a bunch of stuff going on, but I was like on this just like high of what I felt was like, free. Like I was very free. I was doing music every day. I was seeing new cities, cities that I'd never been to. And on top of that, being able to play music. I was on such a high. And then I came back home and I was like kind of sad about it, that I wasn't there anymore. But then it just kind of hit, like it was just flowing. I was writing songs like every day, at least like 2 songs. And I was like, oh shit, this is like where I want to be. This is really what it is. And I've always been kind of tapped in to myself because I've had to be. I mean, I grew up in a small town that me personally, I wasn't necessarily accepted because it's a small conservative town. We hold the record for the most churches. And like, so I've always like had the information that I knew that I had to be within. Like, always make sure my insides are good, basically. And again, that translates through everything that I do, but that was probably when I was like, yeah, this is what it is. So
That was awesome. My second question is, as an artist, which one's more important to you? Like, which one's higher on the pedestal, creation or expression?
probably expression, because if I'm not expressing, then I'm suppressing, and that suppression will, whew, suppression will like run you dry and then put you into a hole, and then you don't even understand why you're in that hole because you've been suppressing these things for so long. Then that whatever situation happened that caused you to suppress, the situation's gone, but the feeling's still there. So definitely expression, because I can express all day and feel amazing, but I can sit and try to create something and not make something and then feel shitty. So it would definitely be expression, whether that's writing a sentence of how I felt, or, you know, paragraph, or writing a song about how I felt, or playing a couple chords that made me feel good. Like, that's just, it's expression for sure.
Do you feel like that takes pressure off you as an artist?
Yes. Because I really try to make sure I'm not so fixated on the releasing of creation. Because a question that I always ask myself, and I think most creators should, is like, if you didn't have the outlet to release it, would you still be making it? And I like to ask that to like fellow musicians or just fellow creators with the internet these days. If we didn't have the internet, how many people would be releasing or making things that they do? Because a lot of people only make things just to put it on the internet and just to like get this, whether it be instant gratification or acknowledgement, whatever it may be. Like, are you making it for you? Or are you making it for people to see? Because I've got shit that people will never see, but I made it and I expressed that, and that's what it is. Like, that's what it is. It's not about releasing it. It's not about getting anybody's opinion on it. It's because I made it and I love it. But sometimes I make it and not love it, but that's not the point. It's like the expression of it.
Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah, it takes me back to where this all started, you know, just talking about, you know, creating, expressing, hopefully making people feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what we can do for each other as human beings, no matter what your outlet is or the way it is that you express yourself. You know, maybe that's just smiling at a stranger, or, you know, picking up a guitar and playing a song. But, you know, there's ways that we can acknowledge each other and use our energy to, you know, create a better world for one another, and each and every one of us have the ability to do that. So
That's the goal.
let's do that.
That is the goal. Like, even last night, like, when me and Austin were walking through alleys, like, I saw this person. It was like a little truck yard. No one was there other than them. So we were walking by, and I just waved. And he kind of like hesitated at first, but then he waved. But I'm super in tune, like, energetically, so I know for a fact it was like, oh damn, like, they waved, like, they acknowledged, like, they saw me. And at the end of the day, that's all anybody wants, is to be heard, is to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, is to be heard and be seen.
Yeah.
So that's really what I try to, you know, I would say project, That's what I try to do, whether it be for myself or for somebody else. Which has kind of gotten me into little binds because even with the band, like I wanted them to be there with me. Like that was my biggest thing. I was like, I love you guys. I want y'all to be here with me, but you know, that, this and that.
I know that story well.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is. Because also, I mean, even when I was like 16, I still have this kind of endeavor that I want to do as far. I used to feed the homeless when I was a kid, like with my family. We'd make, you know, these huge buckets of chili and just go out. So that's always been instilled in me as far as like helping. I always want to help. I want to start, you know, a nonprofit, being able to feed the homeless. I've got plenty blueprints of the business. But just helping, like I just want to help in any way that I can. That's like I didn't grow up thinking that I wanted to do music.
Yeah.
But it was an avenue for me to be able to make people feel and to be able to make people not feel alone and all that. Especially like what my favorite artists have done for me is like making me understand I'm not alone, making me understand that I'm not in the dark. 'Cause nobody's actually in the dark. We may feel like we're in the dark, but nobody is actually in the dark. And it just takes people like myself, people like you, people like everybody here that can kind of extend that arm or wave or make a song that makes them, you know, feel like they're being hugged or whatever the case may be. I can go on for days.
Yeah.
It's just being heard, being seen.
Yeah. That was the first thing that came to my mind when you said everybody wants to, you know, feel heard or be seen, and you know, was the homeless. You know, it's a lot of people want to bitch and complain about the homeless problem here in Austin, and it's like, man, what are you gonna do about it? Again, I've asked that so many times when I talk about problems here in Austin. It's like, all right, you're bitching about it. What are we gonna do about it?
Because there's another.
And it's like, man, you know, I always try to just at least wave or smile at, you know, the homeless when I see them. Like that's not enough, but it is, because imagine going through a world or a life where nobody will look you in the eye or acknowledge you. You know, I would break some windows.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Whether it be breaking windows or you break down.
Yeah, and you have to acknowledge people as people and meet them where they're at. And like there's so many ways that we can serve, especially artists or people with platforms or, you know, people that are hoping to grow. If you're doing it for the right reasons, you want to grow. You want to expand your platform so that you can do more good with it.
Exactly.
So you can inspire more people or help out where you can. And, yeah, man, I see you doing that. It's beautiful, man. So thank you.
Thank you. Which is another big thing with like Deep Ellum. Like when I was down there busking, like I knew every homeless person down there.
Yeah.
And I made my little money, and then I go around, yo, you need like anything. Like here's a couple dollars. Here's this. Like you want a beer? Like anything to like be able to know that they're like not alone. Yeah. But I can go down there now and I don't see any of them. Like they're not there anymore, and it hurts. Like it actually really hurts. Because you know when you build relationships with people and then they disappear, it's kind of like shit. You're gone. Yeah. Don't know where they are. Whatever. But yeah, it's just about helping. That's my whole thing. It's just helping.
That's great, man.
Whether it be with animals, you know.
Yep.
I worked for animal shelter for like a year and a half. Very taxing emotionally, but you know, it was what I wanted to do at the time, and it kind of fell into the me dropping out and not becoming a veterinarian. I was able to like get a lot of certifications and things through this job. We had to work with animals and you know, take in this. Specifically, there's this German Shepherd named Princess. She was scared, like just super scared of everything and super scared of men specifically. And every day I would go in, you know, and sit in her kennel while she just sits there and growls at me. I wasn't worried about getting bit. I've been bit by dogs plenty of times. But just that concept, not necessarily that specific instance, but that concept of being able to take the time and just sit with and let them express and let them, release whatever hurt or trauma or anything that has been caused, to where they reach a point where they're, it's no longer there, and now they can run around and chase you and chase tennis balls, and it's just like one of the most beautiful things I've experienced personally.
Yeah.
Or you got a horse that is super scared of everything. I got a horse who fucking ran through a fence, because she doesn't trust anything around her. But then, a year later, she's following you, and she's eating out of your hand, and she's letting you lean on her and lay on her, like, just good.
Yeah.
Just good things.
Yep. Mirrors.
Yeah.
All mirrors.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man, and opening up about all this. Like, there's so much inspiration and, quotable, things that are going up on an angel's head, man. And I can't wait to listen to it back and just watch through it again. But I'd love to open it up and listen to some music.
Yeah,
if y'all want to stick around and
let's play. Let's
play a little bit. But thanks again for coming on, man. It's so much fun.
Thank you.
Big love.
For sure.